Hello U9, welcome to the week beginning the 22nd of June. We are still focusing this week on the inspector calls. So we've got a few tasks this week that are centred around Mr and Mrs Burling. I'd like you to start by watching the video link that you can see on bullet point 1. It is a really interesting talk and you should watch it through to the end so you understand exactly what we're asking of you. This week, as I said, I'd like you to think deeply about Mr and Mrs Burling. Imagine what it must be like to be them. Okay, so I know their characters, their constructions, they're not real, but you've got to imagine that you're in their shoes, okay, this week. Imagine that both of these characters have to attend an inquest into the death of Eva Smith, Daisy Renton. What answers would they give to these questions from the coroner? For each question, provide some detail and don't just give a one-word answer. So when it comes to the next few slides, I'll talk you through the questions, but we don't want one-word answers. We want you to think carefully about the response you think these two characters would give. Now, to find the answers, you need to know the facts of the play, obviously, but you'll also have to use your imagination and understanding of the characters and the background that you have on the two characters that are central to the play. In order to find these answers and to have a little bit more of an insight, obviously revision does come in. So you can find a copy of the text on the link with labelled A, or you can go to Google and type in inspector calls full text and find it that way. Alternatively, you can also find a film version of the play with the YouTube link marked film A, or you can go to YouTube and type in inspector calls 2017, which is the most recent version that we have. Okay, so these are the questions for Mr Burling. These are the ones you're going to answer in full sentences without just one-word responses. I want you to think about your answer. So imagine you're Mr Burling and these are the questions you're being asked. Number 1, when did you last see Eva Smith? So think about when he last saw her, what did he do, why was she sent away from his works? Number 2, how did you come to meet the girl? So where did he meet her initially, how did he meet her initially? Think about employment, etc. What kind of worker was she? Number 4, what does the phrase lower costs and higher prices mean to you? So think about that. That's something that Mr Burling said. You've got to then think about how he'd respond to his own quote. Number 5, what were the demands of the strikers in 1910? So think about the suffragette movement, what Eva Smith was demanding. Number 6, what would you describe yourself as a powerful member of the Brumley community? Explain yourself. Was Eva Smith the only person to be sacked as a result of the strike? Explain yourself. Number 8, what would be the effects of a merger between your company and that of Lord Croft? Remember, that is his main interest in Gerald and Sheila's relationship, that he gets to work with Gerald's parents. So again, quite an important response needed there. Number 9, what did you mean when you accused your children of not being able to take a joke? And number 10, do you feel that you are in any way to blame for the girl's death? Explain yourself. Again, thinking about him and his usual reactions to not taking responsibility. So think about capitalism and what a capitalist viewpoint would look like in terms of responsibility there. Okay, Mrs Burling, her questions. Number 1, what is the name of the charity organisation of which you are a chairperson? What is the purpose of the organisation? How did you come to meet the deceased woman? So how did she meet Eva Smith in the first place? Number 4, can you think of any particular reason why this woman would have chosen to use your name? Number 5, why did you reject her approach? So why did you reject her approach? What did she wanted? Why did you reject what she wanted? Number 6, do you still believe the father of the child to be entirely responsible? Explain your answer. Number 7, what do you think of the type of girls who come to you for help? Think about the quotes there. Think about what she thinks of the working class and the women in particular. Number 8, what effect will the publicity and court case have on you and your family? Number 9, do you hold yourself to blame in any way for the girl's death? And number 10, what do you think of your son now? So remember, the last thing more or less that she says when she's been interrogated is that the inspector needs to go to look for the father of the child. It's his responsibility. So how does she feel now, looking back about her son and what she thinks of him. Okay, as always, guys, remember to message me on Teams if you've got any questions about the work that I haven't covered here. Please remember you need to know the text before you can answer these questions, and that they must be answered in full sentences, so you're really reflecting on the characters and their responses. As I said though, please message me if you need anything, otherwise I will see you again next week. Take care, bye bye.